That's another episode of Kettlebell Sport Long Cycle Introduction, and today I will show you drop to the rack. That's unit number 3 of the long cycle. For previous episodes about swing, about clean to the rack, about jerk, you can find links below. After the top fixation, where our arms straight, elbows locked, shoulders settle and low, we're looking forward, our posture is straight but not pelvis not too far back. Yeah, we keep it under control. We're standing on our heels solid. We move to the next fast, drop to the rack, and first what we do is shoulder touch. That will be fast number 12. Shoulder touch, that's one of the name of this fast, and you also can say rising on toes or going on your toes. And actually that fast is also exists not every time you're lifting, and it's, well, we can say that's kind of temporary. Fast depends on weight of the bells that you are lifting and pace that you're going, because basically that's your preparation or getting ready for force absorption. That's when weight of the bells compared to your body weight is really solid. Like this fast for sure always used by lightweight athletes, especially in pro division. If you're lifting 32 kilogram bells and your body weight only 63 kilograms or even 68, so of course you don't want to land your elbows while standing on your heels, because it will be too much impact to your low back. So that's why what we do is we're going on our toes on the moment when you bend our arms. And well, that's why I named it the shoulder touch, because we are staying here till the moment when bells touching our shoulders, and then it will be a next fast force absorption number 2. And going on your toes, that's a less common element for heavyweight athletes, weight of 100 kilograms, well, even above 90 kilograms, like about 200 pounds, even with 32 kilograms, because again weight of the body compared to weight of the bells way larger. So that's why these heavyweight athletes that basically feel like waste of energy to go on their toes when they drop the bell, so that's why they just standing there. And again, going on your toes, that's a not bad thing to do. It just again, as I said, depends on the weight of the bells and your comfort, how well you feel your elbows and how well your legs absorb the work. And well, another factor of kind of minimize this fast if you want to increase your pace. So again, that's what sometimes even middleweight athletes do, or lightweight athletes with lighter weights, if they're going really fast, if they feel really confident and comfortable with this bell, so they can skip this fast and drop bells right away to the rack without going on their toes. I will demonstrate a few repetitions. Side view. A few repetitions without going on my toes. So you see, when we work without going on toes is just way more work for our legs. And again, when we do the shoulder touch, so we basically land bells and connect it with body here, and then the rest of the motion kind of going more smooth and basically bell just sliding, so it's way less kind of effort for legs to absorb this force. And when you drop the bells right away from the top, so that's the level where we land our elbows, and that's where the all energy and force of the bells meet legs. So that's why you just should be better prepared, and well, even speed of your response should be quite fast, and your legs should be ready to do this work. So I can say it's just timing is more important to work without going on toes, kind of higher skill work. There are special way to do the shoulder touch, and again, if we are on the toe fixation, what we start with is same time we're going on the toes and unlock the elbows. And the way how we unlock the elbows, we in purpose direct them forward. If you kind of just naturally relax them and let them go, they most likely will go outside, and you don't want it happen, because then later it will be harder for you to land them to the right place on your rack. So that's why right away aim by the shortest direction to your pelvis, and just you unlock your elbows, move your elbows forward. Then at the same time, when you unlock your elbows and rise on your toes, you also move shoulders up. So again, in slow motion, it will look like this. So you move my shoulders even a little bit higher, so it will be a bit shorter space for bell to fall. So we kind of prepare our shoulders and meet the bells here. And by doing that, you also prepare yourself for rack position better. Because when you move shoulder this way, you also move elbow a bit closer to your body, and it will be easier for you then to connect your elbow to your body during the drop. Another thing to say about this shoulder touch and rising on your toes is the way how you move your upper body. And some of the athletes, they lean back way too much when they drop the bells. And like ideally you don't want to go way too far from the line of the balance. You don't want to lean back too much. So ideally, like in your head, you actually should imagine that you don't lean back at all. When you unlock your elbows and go on your toes, you basically keep standing vertical and let the bell falling pretty much like close to your head, close to your forehead. Here, right, well, to we can say this dot around the deltoid, pectoral, and biceps. Here, you shouldn't lean back when you drop the bells and let them land on your chest. Again, you move your shoulders a bit up and you keep standing vertical. That's again how pressure and impact will be more vertical, and it will be just safer for your back. And you actually, if you're following videos of some successful kettlebell lifters, then from time to time you can see that they accidentally, even on the way down, kind of can touch, like scratch a little bit the eyebrow, because they drop the bells so close to their head. And well, of course that's unfortunate thing, but it's just really showing how much they are trying to staying vertical in this position, because it's kind of make movement the most rational. And now we're ready for fast number 13. Second, elbows landing and force absorption. And second, because the first one was when we cleaned the bells to the rack, if you remember from the previous videos. Your mission here is to connect your elbows, to land your elbows on your core as fast as possible. You even, I can say, shouldn't just unlock your elbows and let your arms fall. You basically pull the bells from the top and you kind of strike yourself to your stomach by your elbows. You should force it. You should pull the elbows down as fast as it's possible. What we did in previous fast was unlock the elbows, rise on the toes, and move the shoulders up. And what we do next, again, we want to land our elbows, as I said, as fast as possible to our body. And actually, because we move the shoulders up, we will land our elbows on our ribs first. And again, that's how well, landing of bell will happen sooner. And when your elbows on your ribs, then you stand finally on your heels and let your elbows slide to your pelvis. That's how it works. So again, from the top, unlock the elbows, going with those shoulders up, and then elbows land to your ribs, and then they sit to your pelvis, and you do this force absorption and well, get to the right position. It's very important to say that I'm not landing the bells on my shoulders. I'm just touching them, but I want to direct all force of the bells under my elbows. So that's why, again, I was mentioning about forcing the elbows down as fast as possible without leaning back. So again, if it's overhead fixation, that's what we do. Yeah, all the way to elbows landing. And it's milliseconds. And through these milliseconds, I said bells touching the shoulder and slide down and elbow connected. That's what elbows landing means. And as soon as your elbows reached their lowest position and reach the stomach, you do force absorption and bend your legs to finally stopping the bells. Again, elbows connected, and when elbows on your pelvis, you do force absorption. And same rule, that you don't lean back doing this force absorption, and even opposite, you kind of trying to stretch your back and move even shoulders forward and staying on right on this vertical line of balance, and loading your legs and feeling the whole weight of the bell under your elbows. You shouldn't do this force absorption by your upper body and abdominals and move backward. Don't do that. Stay vertical. And again, when you do it right, you will feel a nice stretching in your lower body. Yeah, no tension, so only legs do the work. Few repetitions with kettlebells. Good thing to mention that during this force absorption, you should stand on your heels solid. Even said we're not leaning back, and seems like knees going forward quite far, but do your best to keep your heels loaded and connected to the ground. Another thing to mention about is again this style of the drop. When you force your elbows drop to your stomach, it's helps you to save energy on this what named a negative fuzz, because when you're trying to drop the bell slow, that makes your deltoids work, and that's actually what can cause you pump in your shoulders and distract your overhead fixation. So again, it's not enough to have a good jerk portion and lock out when you move bells up. That's also important to be fast and technical when you drop the bells down, because well, again, mistake here, if you will use the strength of your deltoids and move bells slowly down, that's also can be enough to make your shoulders pump, especially if you do jerk only. So important to think about it and make sure that you drop your elbows fast. Very tiny detail, but that's what makes you feel really comfortable and loose and relaxed in your shoulders. So again, when I was mentioning about moving shoulders up on the moment of the shoulder touch, and then let elbows on the ribs, and then let elbows slide to the rack, like all this movement of shoulders up and then down, that's what I named shoulder shake. Yeah. And that's what helps biathlon lifters to reset and relax their shoulders during the jerk only, because when you do long cycle, another option for you to kind of stretch and relax your shoulders when you do swing fast and clean. But when you do jerk only, you haven't this opportunity. It's always on the rack, arms bent, and here it's straight but bells over your head. So that seems like the moment for you to at least relax your shoulders a little bit. And when force absorption is done, when you catch your bells on the rack, the rest what you should do is just get to your rack fixation. And that will be a second rack fixation in the whole movement long cycle, because first one was the rack fixation after the clean, and now we get to the rack fixation after jerk, and that's actually this point where we separate clean from the jerk, and that's actually why one of the name of this exercise, clean and jerk. I did explanation of the rack fixation already, but it's worth it to mention about it again, so that we should do our best to keep our legs straight and knees locked when we're in the rack position. And as the checkpoint, if you can move your shoulders a little bit, it means that elbows standing solid, so no tension in your shoulders. Then also you can make a check of your fingers. Don't grab it. Yeah, if fingers relax, it means that insertion is good. It's nice to let bells at least touching each other. And again, I was talking about it before, that that's fine to use a lock. You can do it. You can kind of let one handle lay on another handle. That's also fine. But if you kind of feel solid and confident and comfortable to keep elbows at the same level, still I'm thinking that it's good to let them touch each other, because it just gives you better stability. When bells far from each other, you still have a little bit of motion, and this motion can be a bit distracted when you will be ready for the next bump or just to catch your breath. So connection of handle, just making these two bells feels as one piece, and well, it just get really stable and solid. Another checks that you can do during the rack position is you can check your neck. Also, it shouldn't be any tension here. No any face relax as well, breathing normally. You can check on your feet, and again, so you can try to raise your toes up a little bit, so it will be a good check that you standing on your heels solid. You even can move your pelvis a bit left and right. That will be a good check for your rack position and elbows, because only the way for you to not slide your elbows out if it will be in the right place during this move. Another almost funny thing to mention about is direction of your breathing. So make sure that you breathe above handles. Sometimes it's happened when we kind of really thinking about good connection of elbow in the rack position, we keep our chin low. And when we're resting on the rack position, you're breathing right into the handles. And that's how you just get all sweat. Well, even at first you can kind of even didn't understand why your grip tired so much and why handles get so slippery. But that's because you just breathe to your handles, and that's why all chow get melted and you start losing your grip. So to keep your hands dry and handles dry and keep chalk on it, make sure that you breathe above the handles. That was drop to the rack. Very short unit, but very important. Thank you for watching and see you next time.